It's time for the Nebraska Athletics AD Show with Troy Dannon.
Wing to the near side, snap back. Has some time. Steps, throws down the field. The pass. He's intercepted. Picked off by Sierra Wright to the 30, 25, 20. Sierra down the near sideline. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sierra Wright with a pick six for Nebraska. And the Huskers have taken the lead on the road.
Served by Hayworth. Nice pass. Nebraska left side tips up Merritt Beeson. Nice up from Hayworth. And a free ball across. Diving dig by Alexi on the free ball. Quick long shoot set. Rebecca Alec. Boom off the block and out. It's 21-8 in Lincoln.
Williams squares, shoots, three. Got it! Huskers take the lead for the first time. 48-46 on a three ball by Bryce Lowe.
Hey, kicks it out to the left wing. Moriarty up top it comes. Hargrove for three. Yes! Hargrove, nothing but nets. 105-62 Huskers.
Here's your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Thank you, and welcome to our monthly sit-down with the athletic director for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Troy Dannon. We've got our text line open for if you want to get a question sent his way, 402-413-2400. We're also up on our YouTube stream, and I can see the chat room, so if you guys have questions for the Husker athletic director, fire them away, and I'll pass them along to Mr. Dannon. Good to have you back. Welcome back from California. You were joined by quite a few Husker fans out in L.A.
It was crazy. When the team ran on the field, the two teams came out. USC came out first. Nebraska came out second. You would have thought it was a home game. Louder crowd. And, you know, there's a lot of red there. Seats are red or maroon. USC is red. But just to look all the way around and see red every place. And I walked down. I found out Sabrina Carpenter was playing about a mile and a half away. And so I walked because I knew my daughter would kill me if I didn't get her some gear or something. So I walked about a mile and a half away to the LA Live area on Friday night before the game. And there were teenage girls going to that concert, or Nebraska fans every place. They had taken over downtown. So, you know, every experience I have with Nebraska shows me one more thing that I hadn't seen before. And the following we had out in LA was something else.
We do have a lot of alums that live out in that area, in the Phoenix area, so I'm sure a lot of those people came on over. But it never ceases to amaze me that this fan base supports their Big Red. They love it.
They do, and home and away, and what I've been watching on volleyball when we went out to play, obviously, at my former school at Washington, and seeing they broke the record, but they broke the record with all sorts of Nebraska fans. And then the interesting thing, USC and Wisconsin played volleyball on Thursday night ahead of our game. And there was video from that game, and a section and a half were Nebraska fans who just happened to be there and decided, I'm going to go watch volleyball. And so, they are ever present, to be sure.
Matt Rhule said today, he goes, I told our guys last week, he goes, we don't need to work on silent counts because half the crowd's going to be us. And he proved to be right on that.
He did. And you know, and Matt also said today, and he's right, you know, when you have fans that follow you on the road like that, you want to give them something special. Yeah. You know, you don't get those opportunities just all the time. So, you know, unfortunately, they didn't get to see a win, but you know, they're carrying us. And the fact I know how long they have carried us, and I want them to keep carrying us because I think we're positioned, you know, and a lot of emotion, a lot of angst, a lot of, you know, well, we're in a losing streak, but inside the locker room, inside the department, I think we're in a good position to give fans, you know, down the line what they want and what they hope.
Well, this week, final home game here, Senior Day. That's always an emotional moment. Coach mentioned today 29 or 30. He doesn't have the exact number yet. They got to kind of figure that out as the week goes on. We'll walk, be recognized before the game. And our fans are so good about being there early so that they can, because this will take place probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes before kickoff. You got to be there early to help clap and celebrate these guys and the work they put in.
Yeah, big salute. And, you know, volleyball has Senior Day coming up as well this weekend. And you know, the quality of the athletes that we're going to be honoring. You know, there'll be a lot of Hall of Famers, I think, in both programs over time. You know, the thing to remember about this group of seniors in particular, they went through a coaching change. A lot of them did, and you know, it's tough. You know, it's not just the head coach. It's the position coach. It's the staff. It's everybody that goes along with it, and that's a very emotionally traumatic experience to go through as an athlete. And the fact they did it and did it and rose back, and some of them came back even another year. You know, we owe them a great deal, regardless of that. But we also have to recognize they went through some particularly hard times and did it with aplomb.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks in the program, Troy, because of an in-season coordinator change. I'm not really sure that's ever happened anywhere else. Your thoughts about that? I know you were deeply involved in those talks with Coach Rhule.
Well, an in-season coordinator change by bringing somebody from the outside into the program. I don't know if it's unprecedented, but it's rare. And we've seen a lot of coordinator changes this year, including one at Wisconsin this week. But it's just somebody inside the program gets elevated, so you have the same calls, the same operation, if you will. So a big move by Matt. I've said this, and to say you're proud of a coach, the thing we talk about a lot is you have to be introspective. When things aren't going the way you expect them to go or you think they should go, you have to be willing to look inside yourself and make changes when necessary. And not everybody's willing to do that. Not everybody's able to do that. And it's sometimes we see a player get benched, right? And we see some things happen like that. But for Matt to make the move, I think one, it says a lot about, when I say him, the priority, it's about the program. It's how do we get some wins, and not only was it going to help us these last 3 games, but maybe give us a head start on what lies ahead. Difficult move, and one of the things people really sometimes forget is when Scott left, there's 50 people and their families that go along with it. So making personnel decisions. It's hard. It's harder than people on the outside think because, it's an emotional reaction. Well, get rid of this person and that'll happen. Well, there's relationships that are there, there are families that are there that everybody thinks about inside this business. If you don't think about it, you don't stay inside the business. So challenging time, but, when I say proud, you want a coach to do nothing less than what Matt did, is that identify we need to get better in this area and then go find a way to make that happen.
You mentioned wins. Singular win would mean a lot, wouldn't it, for this program to get bowl eligible?
Yeah, it would. It would after, what is still a hard streak for me to fathom. And I'm sure it's even a harder streak for Husker fans to fathom. And I said this last week, Coach, myself, a lot of my team, we bear the burden of what's happened over this last decade, even though we weren't really a part of it. And maybe we look at it a little bit differently, that we don't look at it maybe as the Eeyore, woe is me, and here goes something else again. We're kind of living through this the first time, but I know our fans have lived through some things, over time that it's just hard to fathom. We talk about officiate. We talk about a lot of things that happen in these games, and to get over that hump, if you will, and get 6, it's not the end of a road, but it's been a bump in the road for a while that we got to get around before we can get to the end of the road.
You mentioned Saturday, Huskers will play Wisconsin, not only in football, but volleyball. Your management staff's going to be pushed a little bit. 2:40 kickoff for football and volleyball a little after 8 o'clock. Be a busy day. Just talk about that decision. Obviously, BTN had a big part of it. They have both broadcasts going. Yeah,
that you talk about having a big day for the staff. We started the year with 4 straight home games, and a Saturday home football game is a lot. And now you add, the biggest rivalry in volleyball on top of it. Yeah, it's a long weekend, but it's a weekend I think a lot of people have been looking forward to because great rivalries. Everybody can't wait. We've got a lot to play for in both games, perhaps a Big Ten championship in one and bowl eligibility in the other. And against, in football at least, a school we haven't had a lot of success with. So, you talk about it's a long day, but there's a lot of adrenaline and energy behind it, so people are looking forward to it. The fact that the Big Ten Network's going to be able to play the game and maybe have a little bit of a pause and then go straight into the volleyball game between the two. It's basically Wisconsin and Nebraska's day on the Big Ten Network, and I love being able to show off what we have. Having here in my first year, I'm so proud of what I get to see, and it's so much fun to put it in front of other people on the outside to say, can you believe this? And to see what they're going to see inside that stadium and see what they're going to see inside of Devaney is going to be pretty special for everybody.
BTN has been a huge success since it debuted back in 2007. Now your first year kind of experiencing the Big Ten Network. Your thoughts about what you see and how that place is run?
Well, the production quality is off the charts. I would watch it some wherever I've been because you can pick it up almost any place. I'm a YouTube TV guy, and so I watch a few games along the way. But production quality, the people are outstanding along with it. And as a volleyball fan, you sit here and your team goes on the road, and gosh, I wonder what happens. And while everybody'd like to listen to the network, right, and listen to that game, but the fact that you can turn on basically every game, every place, baseball, softball, everything, is something special for our fans. And I think it helps us at home because it keeps us engaged when we're on the road, and it's almost as if you don't miss a beat when we get home.
Volleyball, 23 game win streak. Amazing inside the Devaney Center. Just incredible.
Yeah, and I think the Minnesota match the other night when we dropped a set, I think the crowd was like, what do we do? What do we do? But playing at such a high level and, a great mix of young kids and seniors on that team. And Coach, I've asked Coach 2 or 3 times, not having met him before I got here. But, obviously he's a storied legend in the game, but he's so calm. No matter what happens. And I said, were you always this calm? He said, no, I used to be a little bit more emotional on the sides. But I think his ability, the thing that's amazed me most about the volleyball program is Coach's ability to find a way to engage with kids of different generations over his career. And to be there a quarter century at this place and go through what it was like then versus now he's getting ready to allocate revenue sharing dollars next year to play. He's run the gamut, and to be able to have success throughout that continuum is pretty special.
He's really adapted well.
Yeah, he has, and it may be Harper and her TikTok videos that's helped him a little bit, but he takes this sport, he takes his job very, very seriously, but I've been surprised at maybe how unseriously sometimes he takes himself. He's willing to let his guard down, have a little bit of fun, engage with people, and be proud to be a Cowboy and do the things that he likes to do. But I'm getting to be with him at a really, really fun point in his career where, hopefully he has another chance to make a couple of runs and add to his total of 4.
That 23-game streak, he doesn't duck anybody. You go back to that non-conference schedule, and Louisville was here. I mean, and they bring the best of the best. He doesn't just go play teams that he knows he can rack wins up against.
Well, I think I was looking at the top 25 came out today, and I think we beat 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. It's crazy who he's played, and that says a lot. I don't know what would happen for our RPI not to be one at the end of the year, but the ability to be in the top 4 in the RPI at the end of the season and basically give yourself a chance to play every pre-Final Four match at home. Hugely important, especially when you have a home field advantage, home court advantage like we do. So, there's a rhyme and a reason for why he does what he does.
This sport has exploded, particularly within the Big Ten region. Purdue and Indiana played a match at Mackey Arena and set the Big Ten Conference attendance record. I'm sure you guys are thinking about maybe moving a conference match to PBA next year to snatch that back. There was a social media blurb that Purdue put out after that match that showed the Big Ten record, and Coach sent it to me 10 minutes later, and he said, goals. Not surprised.
Goals. And so, we'll find a Big Ten match next year to get over to PBA, and we'll find a way not just to break that record, but we'll see if we can't find a way to squeeze a couple of extra seats in there and do something pretty special. It just feels like Nebraska should have a record because I think this year, if I'm not mistaken, we've been a part of 4 school records on the road. For attendance. So it's only natural that we have one of our own at home.
All right, coming up in our next segment, we're going to talk to Kristen Brown, who is your Deputy AD Senior Women's Administrator, one of the hires you have made since coming to here. Tell me a little bit about Kristen. So
I knew of Kristen when it became obvious that she was available and maybe interested in coming. All I worried about for the next 2 weeks is we wouldn't get her. She's really well known nationally, and the thing I like to have in a leadership team is maybe a little bit of Noah's Ark, somebody that's experienced and done a little bit of everything. And what Kristen has, not only SEC experience, but was at Maryland, was in the Big Ten office. And so understands the Big Ten, understands really the last decade of what's happened in the Big Ten. And really on my leadership team is the only person that has that background. So not only does she bring a skill set as a manager, as a former athlete, but that being in the Big Ten, being in the SEC, knowing what those leagues are doing, really, really important right now. And from talking to our coaches, from talking to our athletes that have gotten to engage with her, I think the only people that are happier than me with her being here are the athletes and the coaches.
Fantastic. All right, we'll cut you loose for a segment. We got a lot more to get with you, though, later on in the show. We will be back to talk to Kristen Brown coming up here in a minute. Folks, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. More of our monthly sit-down show with the athletic director for Nebraska coming up next.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun!
That's Blake and Bailey. They're our Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus no payments for up to 90 days and $1,000 bonus cash on a new F-150.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-notch products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com to find your dealer today.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Neese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Welcome back to our Athletic Director show for the month of November. Going to chat now with Kristen Brown, who's the Deputy Athletic Director, Senior Women's Administrator for Nebraska, and been here 4 to 5 months, right, in Lincoln.
4 months in Lincoln.
Doing okay?
Doing well.
I'm fascinated by your background, because I know you spent some time at the league level, at the Big Ten level. What did you learn there, and has that helped you maybe have a better appreciation of what they do at that level and maybe how they can help us?
Yeah, I think working at a conference office, you're working to support, well, when I was at the Big Ten, it was 11 institutions, and now it's 18. But it teaches you how to look at things from the bigger picture and the 30,000-foot view. And so I think that's helped me, particularly as a sport administrator, when I'm making decisions on what's best for the entire department, not just one specific sport. So definitely having that bigger picture view and 30,000-foot view has helped me in my day-to-day as an administrator.
Great. Well, so you oversee volleyball and women's basketball. Volleyball obviously has got this thing rolling. They just have the look. Don't they have a team that's ready to go win a national championship?
They do. I've been around a few national championship winning programs in my career. And they do. They just have a very business-like approach, but they know how to balance the fun with coming into the gym every day, coming into matches every night. They've just got a good vibe about them right now, and they're playing with confidence, and they're playing at a high level, and excited to see how the rest of the season plays out.
I tell people all the time, Kristen, that the toughest ticket to get for a Husker sporting event is volleyball. It's not football because there's 90,000 seats, but it's volleyball.
Yeah, and it's a great problem to have, right? Quick story, my family came out the second or third week of the season and asked the ticket office, hey, I need a couple extra tickets for my family. They're coming out the weekend for that second tournament we were hosting. And they said, we'll put you on a wait list. Wait, a wait list? But no, like I said, it's great problems to have when you've got a wait list for season tickets and standing room only at every home match.
How about the growth in that sport? Not just in the Big Ten, and I mentioned that to Troy earlier, but really across the country, you're seeing that the sport of volleyball really gain a lot of popularity.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see as somebody who played the sport as a youth. Participation numbers are at an all-time high across the country in girls sports. Club sport participation is at an all-time high. I think institutions are really starting to invest in volleyball from a financial standpoint and resources. And so you're just seeing that growth and, TV eyeballs, engagement on social media. Volleyball is at a great time right now across the country, and it's really exciting. And it's exciting that Nebraska's been at the forefront of that for many years, and it's kind of raised the level of everybody else around the country.
Well, Troy mentioned, I think we've set 4 attendance records on the road for schools during the year. The Huskers are ranked second, and the women's basketball team, the other sport that you oversee, they're ranked 21st. Nice start to their year.
I'd like to take a little bit of credit for that.
You should.
No, it's been awesome to see for them as well. I was actually out in Corvallis last year to end the season. I was at my previous institution playing against Nebraska and was on the losing end of that matchup. But it's exciting to see them come into the season ranked. They've got some veteran players, some young players that came in as well. And for them to have the night that they had on Saturday, that was special. You dream of nights like that, being able to shoot the ball like that.
23 pointers made? It's crazy.
Funny. Yeah, I don't know if I made 20 in my entire career.
Yeah, right? Volleyball, the NCAA came out and they're going to tweak a little bit the regional round. Maybe give it, I think there's a day between the 16 and the 8th round. Good move. Do you like this?
I think it's a great move. Number one, from a TV standpoint, every regional semifinal and regional final will have its own TV window. So for somebody who loves volleyball and used to have a match on her TV, a match on her iPad, a match on her laptop, to be able to watch every match in its entirety is a great thing. And then I think from a rest and recovery standpoint for student athletes, when you play Thursday, Saturday, or Friday, Sunday, you get a day off in between to rest and recover. Coaches get another day to prep. So hopefully you're seeing some really, really high volleyball that time of year.
It models more what basketball does in March, right?
Exactly. Exact same format.
Yeah, which you kind of, why have they not had a day off? I guess that's a question for someone else. You also work with a couple of other sports here in Nebraska. Tell me about that.
I do. So I also oversee swimming and diving, who had a great weekend, I think beating Kansas for the first time in several years a couple weekends ago. And then men's and women's gymnastics, who will get going after the first of the year.
Yeah. It's so much fun to watch, and they've been so good the last couple of years as well. All right, give me some highlights in your first 5 months here. What some things that have really stuck out as something that was really neat to be a part of? It's got to be probably maybe any volleyball match you've attended.
Oh, well, yeah, any volleyball match. Being a part of that many consecutive sellouts is incredible, especially as a former female student athlete. The support here for women's athletics is like nothing I've ever seen. So certainly every competition that I've been at from a volleyball standpoint. Being at Colorado football, that was a fun game. That was the weekend that my family was in town, so that was special to be a part of. But really, just I'm embracing every day, every opportunity here. Has been a great time to be here at Nebraska.
You mentioned. Do you want to jump in, Troy?
No,
I thought you had some. Okay, you mentioned that the league was at 11 when you worked at the Big Ten office. Now to 18. The addition of the 4 West Coast schools, volleyball made a long trip out west. Any issues with that? How do you think that has gone as far as travel? What feedback are you hearing from other SWAs about the travel so far for the sport, particularly the sport of volleyball to this point?
Yeah, I think we're in a unique spot because we're right in the middle of the country. So that trip for us is really only 2.5, 3 hours, right. Where my previous institution that's in the Big Ten, that's a 5 to 6 hour trip for them, which they were actually playing in football out at Oregon that same weekend. So for us, the travel has been relatively easy, knock on wood. I know Lindsey Peterson is probably out there somewhere, hair turning a little gray, thinking about travel logistics. But for us, it's been a pretty smooth transition. For some of my other counterparts in the league, it hasn't been as easy just because those flights are a little bit longer. Some have had to play back-to-back in Washington and Oregon, which that's not really a short trip in between. So they've had some challenges, but overall, I think it's been good, especially for Nebraska.
Charter flights certainly help,
yes,
don't they?
Yes, can't complain about that.
Right. And Troy, what feedback are you getting on that? And you talked to the ADs around the conference as well. Football, schools have had to go coast to coast to play some games so far.
Yeah, the travel from west to east is typically the tougher travel than it is east to west. And talking to some leagues, I know the Big 12, they used to try to make sure their buys happened the week after you traveled from west to east. I don't know that that's necessarily possible, but I think everybody's got their eye on travel and not just football. Honestly, football is the easiest of all. You get on a plane, you're either on it for 3 hours, but you're chartering and you're coming home right after the game. Yeah, I think the bigger worry is going to be as we get into really softball, baseball. The volleyball swings, and it was a unique volleyball swing with Nebraska playing 2 on the road and the West Coast school splitting their travel. So I think everybody's is learning a little bit on travel is what's optimal. I do think it won't be long before we'll be talking about how do we minimize, and whether we go to divisions or pods or something else to minimize cross-country travel, just in the interest of the students.
Kristen, take me back to early summer when you knew this position was open. Well, take me through that process, and how much arm twisting did Troy have to do to get you to...
Well, I can tell you it didn't take a lot of arm twisting. He may have had somebody call in advance to put some feelers out to see what my level of interest was, but as somebody who's from the Midwest, originally grew up in Illinois, I've had my eye on Nebraska for a long time and everything that it's done competitively, academically, student-athlete welfare, those types of things. Nebraska's always been at the forefront. So when I got the call, putting the feelers out, and then talked to Troy the next day, it was a pretty quick conversation. It didn't take much convincing.
She did a much better job of buffaloing that in the interview, because when it came to negotiating the contract and how do we get you here, she made it sound like it was going to be a lot harder than this. So now I've learned some things from Kristen.
Well, it's great to have you part of the team here in Lincoln. Continued success. I mean, the two sports you oversee are both ranked. I mean, you're doing a great job.
Doesn't get much better than that, right?
Very good stuff. Good to see you. Welcome to Lincoln. Glad to have you on this team. Kristen Brown is the Deputy Athletic Director, Senior Women's Administrator for the Cornhuskers. All right, got some texts coming in for Troy. Keep them coming, 402-413-2400. We're back with more with the Nebraska Athletic Director next.
Hey Husker fans, get game ready at Alumni Hall, your ultimate Nebraska Cornhusker shopping experience. Upgrade your tailgate gear, shop officially licensed Nebraska clothing for the family, or load up on hats, gifts, and accessories. Spend $150 and you'll receive a $10 reward on your next purchase with Alumni Hall's Hall Pass rewards. Nebraska students, faculty, and military receive 10% off when shopping in store. Come shop at Alumni Hall, located in downtown and in the South Point Pavilion in Lincoln, or shop alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Husker fans shop.
Nebraska Soybeans Power makes everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Ford cars and trucks to Skechers shoes and soy-based turf. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
There's something to be said for American-made, but at Monolith, we're helping create Nebraska-made. From here in Nebraska, we're producing low-emission carbon black for tires across North America. Soon we'll be providing farmers with locally made fertilizer to reduce our reliance on foreign imports. We're investing hundreds of millions in our multiple Nebraska facilities and employing Nebraskans in high-paying jobs that support families and communities. Monolith, Nebraska-made.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Drives us, Sid Dillon. Hey Husker fans, Coach Rhule here, thanking you for your incredible support of Nebraska football. We're working every day to bring championship football back to Nebraska. Just as important is your contribution to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective of Husker Athletics. Every contribution, no matter how small, makes a big impact. Your support helps us recruit and retain top talent, bringing a winning program that can compete at the highest level. Visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 now.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lexi Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
League One Volleyball coming to Omaha this January, featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Aranchez. LOVB Omaha. Volleyball is Omaha's newest pro team. Go visit their website at lovb.com for ticket information. We're back on our athletic director show for the month of November. Troy Dannon with us here today. Your name got mentioned at Coach Rhule's press conference today. The question came up about the final play of Saturday's game. Looked like a pretty apparent tug on the jersey of Jamal Banks, and Coach Rhule said, I'm letting Troy handle that. So you're handling it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
No, we've had a couple of officiating interactions with the Big Ten this year. One was Ohio State, and the thing about officiating, and I officiated not at this level, but I was on the college football field and the college basketball floor both, and I know better than to argue about judgment calls. But in the Ohio State game, the spot was a big concern and could have, I don't know if it did, but could have impacted the outcome. And so the Big Ten issued a statement of that they incorrectly administered the rule. And it didn't get caught. Various redundancies of replays still didn't get caught. And every week, there's judgment calls that you go, oh my gosh, how did that possibly happen? And so you submit those and you get interpretation. And that's really for teaching purposes, so coach can go teach his players, this was a foul or this wasn't a foul, and here's what was the interpretation. What happened on Saturday, and I'll go back last week in the Utah-BYU game, there was a controversial call at the end of that game in which that flag was thrown. And, there was a wide consensus that foul should have been thrown. And so in this game, the foul wasn't thrown. And so my concern and our concern in dealing with the Big Ten this week has been why. Again, it's a judgment call, and I try to stay away from those, but it seemed rather egregious. And not so much, there isn't anything we can do, right? I'm not trying to take the official to the middle of town square, and we know we're not going to go back and replay the game with no time left on the clock and the ball to 2 with one more. It's not going to happen. But how do we make things better? How does it not happen again? I'm not pointing any blame at the guys on the field. If there's any responsibility, I just want to make sure we're putting them in a position to do as well as they can possibly do. Are we training properly? I'm concerned that, I turn the Big Ten game on Friday night, and you see a tendency. The night before we played UCLA, there was a number of unsportsmanlike flags thrown in that game. So we walk into the UCLA game thinking be careful. There's a point of emphasis on sportsmanlike behavior. UCLA gets 3 flags in that game. The day we went into Ohio State, OPI was a problem that day. That was 2 weeks after the Ohio State-Oregon game, in which a controversial OPI occurred at the end of that game. Mm-hmm. So are we emphasizing things and then overreacting to the emphasis from plays that have happened previously? And so really the point is, and I know, part of my job, I'm very emotional, but I can't act emotionally. And so trying to take that emotion and use it to make things better, hopefully to prevent it from happening the next time. And, things aren't going to change from here to tomorrow. But as we get into the off season, how can we address some of the things that we've seen this year? And it's not just in the Big Ten. There's been a series of controversial plays really all across the country. And I think we put the officials in a really tough spot now. We've got, 100K cameras at 42 different positions, and we break down their calls in a split second that they possibly can. I get all of that, but how can we put them in the best possible position to succeed? And that's really my focus. It doesn't do any good to go after anybody or personally attack anybody, but we've had some really good discussions, and as recently as this afternoon again with the commissioner of the Big Ten, and I also believe this, that sometimes you've got to be the squeaky wheel. I typically don't believe we should be the squeaky wheel in the media or out in front. I think my experiences, and I've done this for quite a while, you tend to get a lot more done by handling it behind the scenes and getting to the right people. And I think that's what we've done. The thing about it for me, there's not a lot I can do to help the team, but part of it is I want to defend them, and I want to make sure that those in the league feel that if we feel like we've been aggrieved by a certain interpretation on the field, how do we get that addressed? And so that's been a little bit of focus. I like everybody else, I want our guys to walk on the field in the best possible position to succeed, just like I want the officials in the best possible position to succeed.
You want your coaches to know you have their back too.
Well, there's part of that, and there's ways to go about it. You can harm your coaches if you handle it in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. But I want them to know, we will go fight for them, and I don't need Matt fighting officiating. I need Matt preparing for Wisconsin. And so the job for me or the job for Haven or whoever it is in the department is to pick that fight up and run with it. The challenge for the fan base and for any fans when it comes to officiating, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be some type of human error. It doesn't matter what level, Super Bowl to junior high football, right? There's going to be things that we don't agree with, but as much as we can do to figure out ways when things don't happen, just like the coaching change we talked about earlier, when things aren't going the way you want them to or they should go, how do you adjust and adapt to make it better? And so that's the tack we're taking right now.
Speaking of the Big Ten, we know who we're playing next year in the Big Ten in football, but we don't know the order or the dates. Are we close to that at all? And part two to this is there's been some chatter out there that your game with Cincinnati, a non-conference game to begin the year, might not be in Indianapolis.
Yeah, so the bigger picture schedule, I think 3 times in the last 3 weeks I've heard 7 to 10 days. So, I think I feel like it's any time. It could easily happen this week.
People want to set their weddings.
They want to get their events scheduled for the fall, and this is really a television. When television is going to pick these games and when they want these games, and plus I can't wait to see the schedule come out because we've got a USC, Michigan, and Iowa at home next year. It's going to be a fun home schedule for us, and I'd like to see those things get set. Hope to get some night games out of that because our night game atmosphere is beyond belief here.
Yeah.
The opening game, there's a lot of scuttle out there. I would guess we're going to see something in the next week about that opening game with Cincinnati and where and I'm not sure when yet, but where exactly that game may be played. There may be some changes.
Okay, stay tuned on that. Crypto King in our chat room wants to know if you've talked at all about ticket prices for football for next year. Have you had those discussions yet?
Yeah, the only thing I can tell you is, and I made a commitment that we're not going to change ticket prices prior to the stadium renovation work being done. So what that would mean is next year is going to hold. The year after that's going to hold for sure. Hey, we're in an era where people are charging taxes or trying to raise ticket prices to take care of the revenue sharing. We're going to find a different way to get that done, not on the backs of our ticket holders. And we'll see what it looks like when the stadium gets done, but that's probably 3 years down the road before we address that question.
Speaking of the stadium expansion, anything new to share with the folks tonight?
No, I sent a letter out, and I've talked a little bit here, from a timeline standpoint. We're just trying to get our ducks in a row, and pending board approval, hopefully first quarter of the year we'll come out and really show what we're trying to get done. Obviously, the big news is South has to come all the way down, and part of that's to tie and connect everything together. I think the one surprise, maybe as we've dug into this a little bit, is the amount of work that needs to be done underneath the substructure work. Do we just take west down inside the tower and rebuild it, or do we just try to build over the west and fix the infrastructure down underneath? So that deferred maintenance catches up to you when you have an old stadium. So some questions like that. We're gonna have to raise a lot of money, you talk about why do we want to win 6? I know as a businessman, I'd like to win 6 to give you that momentum as we go into a year in which we're going to start asking people for gifts to lay the cornerstones of getting the foundation work of the new stadium done.
All right, very good. Folks, Dorothy Lynch, home style, light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. Keep those texts flowing in. If you're on our YouTube chat, fire a couple questions. I'll try to get to Troy in the next segment. 402-413-2400. Back to wrap up hour 1 next.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun.
That's Blake and Bailey. They're our Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus no payments for up to 90 days and $1,000 bonus cash on a new F-150.
Hi, I'm Tom Osborne, former football coach and co-founder of the Teammates Mentoring Program.
And I'm Des Moines Adams, Husker Black Shirt and CEO of Teammates Mentoring.
We are recruiting teammates mentors and need caring adults to be in the lives of our students.
Meeting with a student once a week at the school can make a positive impact in their life and have a ripple effect in our communities.
Please join our team.
Go to teammates.org today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Experience the new, innovative, and above all, exceptional vehicles at Woodhouse Buick. We guarantee that our staff can help you find your next vehicle. Stop in and save with our current offers going on now. Lease the 2024 Buick Encore GX for $348 a month for 39 months and 10,000 miles per year. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer Buick or GMC vehicle to qualify. Zero due at signing. Stock number V24091. Offer expires December 2nd, 2024. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Final few minutes here with Troy Dan in our November show. Mike on our text line said, Terrence Crawford responded to the university on X. Can we expect a Terrence Crawford fight in the stadium soon?
I hope so.
Nice.
I since Terrence did that, I have not talked to his representatives. But as we try to sell it, I'm not sure what the exact number is. There's only been a couple of fights at 90,000 in U.S. history.
Yeah.
Now there have been bigger ones internationally, but this is a place to set records. And I think he could fight Mike Tyson or Jake Paul and break the record. So the U.S. record. So we'll see. It's really in his corner, if you will, to steal a pun. But I haven't talked to him since, but we would love to get him in there.
Did you notice he did that? I'm sure you probably...
Oh, I noticed he did that, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was all I could do not to retweet it with a comment, but sometimes best discretion is to do those things behind the scenes.
We are into the first year of an expanded college football playoff. We've had a couple of reveal shows. There's another one tomorrow night. Right now, the Big Ten's looking like maybe 4 teams. How important would that be to the conference?
4 and plus a few of them are going to be in that 5, 6, 7, 8 line to host a game in December, which means people are coming north for that. It'd be huge for the league. Now, money-wise, whether we get 1 team in, 4 teams in, or 12 teams in, it's the same amount of money. It's a fixed number, but from an image and brand of the league, to get schools in, multiple schools, and to get those high seeds would be good for the league. And I think the top end of the league is really, really good this year. Talent is really spread. The one thing that transfer portal and NIL have done is distributed talent more equally across the country. But we've got some really good high top end schools. So look forward to getting a Big Ten school all the way through back to the end again as we did last year.
Ward Manuel, Michigan's athletic director, he's kind of a lead of this thing, right? That's good publicity for the conference.
Yeah, it is, and I wouldn't wish being the guy that has to get on camera and talk about that on even my worst enemy. So tough job for Ward, but Ward's a football guy, and you want football guys in the room making football decisions. So I'm glad he's there.
Basketball teams both play, the men and women, up in Sioux Falls. Your thoughts about those neutral site type games?
It's funny you asked, because I actually asked Fred, why are we doing this, Fred? Because we don't, I'd love to have that game at home, get a lot more people in the building, but, St. Mary's also is not coming here to play us. And so, to get that sometimes, in this day and age, to get a high RPI neutral game is the best you can do. And the fact that it's not 90% our crowd, I understand why we want to do it. And basketball scheduling really is left to the discretion of the coaches more than football, which is done more out of my office. But for right now, it's a little bit of a guarantee for us, and it gives us a chance to get that high-end neutral game. And of course, you add that with the Creighton series, and then just what we get in the Big Ten, it gives you plenty of strength to get into the tournament if your record is maybe a little bit suspect. But we'll have enough strength of schedule to warrant a place.
Fire alarms were an issue, apparently, in Sioux Falls. What, 5 or 6 times, I guess it went on?
Yeah, that's really what prompted me to ask it. I mean, fire alarms aren't going to go off here, so maybe we need to be at home to prevent that from happening. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. I'm surprised it doesn't happen wherever Wisconsin. No, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often when we're on the road or other people do it as a ruse. It's a terrible gamble, but to do something like that. But yeah, I think the guys were up for about 3 hours in the middle of the night, and it wouldn't work for me. Now they're 19, 20 years old, so maybe it works better for them. But I can about imagine you don't get a good night's sleep and you're playing a team like St. Mary's who shoots the ball and moves the ball as well as they do. It just add a little bit of toughness to it.
And a noon tip, too. So an earlier start.
Noon tip.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming in.
Good to have you. Good to have my time. Enjoy it and look forward to the holiday discussion with you.
Let's beat the Badgers twice Saturday. Is that okay?
That would be a great weekend headed into the Thanksgiving holiday.
Very good. Good to see you. Troy Dannon with us, our monthly athletic director show. We've got another hour of Sports Nightly coming up on the other side. Jessica will join me. We've got a lot to talk about that took place over the weekend. So come on back with us for hour 2.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Is your phone system holding you back? We know how important smooth, reliable communication is for your success. Whether your team is working from the office or on the go, you need a phone system that keeps up with your busy day. At Hamilton, we offer business phone systems that adapt to your needs, making every call clear and every connection simple. Upgrade to a Hamilton business phone system where advanced features meet unmatched reliability. Are you ready to transform how you communicate? Better phones, better business. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Earlier today, head coach Matt Rhule spoke to the media about a variety of different topics. One of the topics he talked about was how appreciative he was of the Husker fans in L.A.
I kept telling our guys, like, hey, we're not going to need silent count. I mean, I knew our fans would travel. People that I've talked to have said they were going to be out there. It was awesome. It was just disappointed we couldn't, get the win for them because they traveled and they supported and they made that, feel like a home game. And it was really an advantage in that atmosphere. So, as always, grateful for that support.
More from Coach Rhule in just a bit. Nebraska volleyball setter Bergen Riley was named Big Ten Setter of the Week for the 4th time this season, earlier this afternoon. In wins over Minnesota and Indiana last week, Riley averaged 10.71 assists per set and 3.86 digs per set. In the win over the Golden Gophers, she was the first Husker setter to record at least 40 assists, 20 digs, and 5 kills in a match since 2001. In Major League Baseball news, Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens was named NL Rookie of the Year, and Yankees pitcher Luis Gil was named AL Rookie of the Year. And finally, in about 10 minutes, Week 11 of the NFL season ends tonight as the Cowboys host the Texans. That game can be watched on ESPN. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout if you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Wing to the near side, snap back. Has some time. Steps, throws down the field. The pass is intercepted. Picked off by Sierra Wright to the 30, 25, 20. Sierra down the near sideline. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska. Sierra Wright with a pick 6 for Nebraska. And the Huskers have taken the lead on the road.
Quick attack in the middle. There's Bergen with the up. Pump set left. Harper needs it. And the All-American gets it. 22-20. That's Husker Hart.
Williams squares, shoots, 3. Got it! Huskers take the lead for the first time. 48-46 on a 3-ball by Bryce Lowe.
Zone D out of South Dakota, the 2-3 zone. It's Moriarty up top, 6 on the shot clock. Now Coley, left wing, takes the 3 and nails it. Nothing but net for Coley. Her 4th 3 of the night. 111-65. Huskers. Coley with the last 12 points for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back, hour number 2, Sports Nightly, here on a Monday night. Great to have Troy Dan and we covered a lot of topics in that last hour, including maybe a change of venue for the Huskers' opening game in football next year against Cincinnati. Stay tuned, he said. We may have something coming up pretty quick on that. Covered a lot of topics and got a chance to visit with Kristen Brown. Really enjoyed my chat with her. She's really interesting to talk to.
Yeah, I told you immediately, I got to get her on the podcast, our Husker Women's Wednesday, because obviously with time restraints at the show, you couldn't really dive into it, but she was fascinating. Love listening to her perspective, and I know she's really, really well liked just from the conversations I've had. So I know she's been a great addition, so I'd love to dive into her story a little bit more, but love the little nugget about we're going to find a game to play volleyball, a match to play inside Pinnacle Bank Arena, get that record. Mm-hmm. And then I also appreciated his conversation just about the officiating and how that process works, and when it doesn't go the Huskers' way, how he goes about that. But there were a lot of good nuggets in there. The stadium update, always lots of news that you get out of that hour.
Well, 48 hours ago was another one of those kind of close but not quite close the deal game for the Huskers. I felt all week that they were going to battle USC, and they certainly did. The early pick 6 by Sierra, who, by the way, played a tremendous football game, gave us a lead. And at times I thought I liked some of the new wrinkles that the offense had. I walked away. I wasn't mad because USC had to make some plays, and they got some bounces. My goodness, the ball going off of a helmet that they catch. But I felt like the Big Red really battled hard Saturday in Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely. They fought, and I guess I was pretty. I thought the offense moved the ball well at times, and when you're talking about a couple of stretches where they didn't get any movement at all, when you had some really quick 3-and-outs at times in the previous games, I thought they moved it at pretty well at times. You have the interception there. Unfortunate, and then you have to kick 2 field goals, but you still had some good drives going there. I was pleased, and I think, as Coach Rhule said, going to continue to build. And I walked away after my conversations with Jamal and Emmett after the game. You could tell they had some confidence after that one, just seeing and feeling like there's going to be some good adjustments, and there were some good things put in place that they could build off of offensively. Just having another week, now having a game. I told you it was fascinating to watch Dana Holgorsen in the game, just how he was trying to take it all in. He's calling the plays and obviously very much animated and involved in that. But when they'd come off, it was like he was trying to learn and understand and really just get a feel for things. And so I think, the more he continues to feel comfortable and can build off of what he has implemented so far, I think. So I felt pretty good about some of the things that we saw. Yes, you wish you could have scored in the red zone, but I was a little disappointed too that they made a couple of big plays that it was who wants it more a little bit, I guess. And I felt like there were a couple of plays like that had did those plays go the other way, you might be looking at a different outcome. But that's the same story that we've had.
Right.
We've had that conversation. I know Coach Rhule has mentioned that, but you just wish those guys would have, some of those plays go the Huskers' way. You got to find a way to make those plays, and then those games start turning. That's when the tide starts turning the other way.
We've seen that movie before, right?
Yeah.
We're going to open some phone lines for you, folks. If you want to sound off on Saturday's game, 402-413-2400. I said it on the broadcast after we got the fumble. Ty Robinson punched it out. We got the fumble. You were like, that needed to be 7. We got 3. Needed to be 7. You're going, man, I hope that doesn't come back to bite us. You'll take the points when you get them, but you alluded to that, the red zone and not being able to finish off a couple of drives, and then not get off the field on their long drive that put them up 8 points.
And then the big touchdown play. I mean, that was one of the big emphasis that, Searles and I talked a lot about on the podcast last week, but I think if Lincoln Riley and their offenses, don't allow the big plays. And I think they allowed a couple of big plays that really opened some things up. But the touchdown play, that seemed to be a big miscommunication that you just don't expect to have at this point in the season and with the veterans that you have in the back end with that secondary.
Right.
But that was a big turning point where they got that big play or they got that big touchdown. And it's just, again, those big plays, those one play, had they gone one way or the other. But I thought, okay, they forced another turnover here. This is going the Huskers' way. And then, unfortunately, you kick a field goal there, and then what was after that, then did they give up the touchdown after that? Yeah. So just not a good turn of events there. But, hey, I think if there's a positive, and look, you gotta score, you gotta find ways to get it done. But I felt like the way they were able to actually move the ball in the last to actually set themselves up for a final play that was, we've seen the interceptions at the end when they're trying to go score. They actually move the ball there at the end of the game a lot better than we've seen when they've been in those situations in the past. So I thought that was a positive too.
Yeah, I thought Dillon handled himself really well that last drive. Jalen Lloyd made a big catch, got hit hard and held on to the football.
The 2 tight ends, Borkature got out of bounds.
Yep.
So I thought that they executed that a lot better than we've seen.
And as DB was pointing out on the broadcast Saturday, he found a couple of different wrinkles in the run game where the run game was more effective. Now, the grand total wasn't huge, but like DB's like, there's a couple things they're doing with the run game that he goes, I like what they just did there. And the plays were getting in faster. We were getting snaps off a little quicker than we had the previous couple weeks.
Yeah, and he utilized both Dante and Emmett in the passing game. Emmett was the leading receiver in terms of receptions. And so, and that's something that we've seen Dana Holgorsen do in his offenses. He's going to utilize those running backs in more than just handing them the football. But in the TV show today, Coach Rhule said that he thought that was one of the best performances from the offensive line. And, Searles and I actually taped the sideline slice today, and he mentioned that what the O-line did, it looked like when I go back and watch it, because I don't always see everything happen because I'm watching things on the sideline, but when I went back and watched some of those runs, it seemed like the running backs were running really hard, and they had some really tough runs. He said a lot of it, too, was that they were able to get some momentum going because the offensive line had more push. So I think, and again, that's part of sticking with the run game. You started to see that really open up in the second half, too, and getting some of those big chunks of runs. A lot of that is just, hey, you want to keep leaning on those guys, and then they get tired. And so I think you saw some positive things in the run game that you're going to have. Like, bottom line, you're going to have to be able to run the football, and I think that was another one of those positives, too.
All right, folks, phone lines are open, 402-413-2400. That also works for the text line if you'd rather send out a text to us. It's our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They have been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to North Platte. And Jim, you're going to start us off tonight. Welcome, Jim.
Yes. First of all, I would like to say happy holidays to all of you. And I've got some questions. I have watched high school here in North Platte, where I come from, Arthur, and I have watched Nebraska go into football games a little bit overconfident, and they wound up getting beat. My personal feeling is they come out basically flat before the game. I totally agree with Jessica Coody. Those guys have to make the plays, and they've got to want to win the ball games. Happy holidays. Go Big Red.
All right, thanks, Jim. I actually thought we had some pretty good fire early in the game. We had the pick six from Sierra, took the lead on the road, which was good. I thought the offense moved a little bit early in the game. I thought they got a little bit better rhythm as the game went on, but I didn't feel like we were flat this week.
I didn't at all. I agree. UCLA. Yes, they were maybe a little flat, but I didn't think they were. And even, that first, again, just going from my experience of working with Lincoln Riley and seeing firsthand, a lot of times I don't know, there's got to be some stat of how many times they score on their opening drive because it's scripted and they have it down, and, you force them to punt. And then you get the pick six. So I thought they came out and had I thought the defense played well out of the gate. And then eventually the offense got rolling. You saw some good drives there. But I thought they were pretty fired up. When we talked about this on the broadcast, but when the team got there and they came out to the middle and like they always do, and then there was a little bit of chippiness going on. And then there was even some words exchanged at the coin toss, and I thought this team was pretty fiery, actually. I would have to disagree in terms of being flat. I thought they came out and had quite a bit of fire going into this one.
I agree. Let's go from North Platte to West Point. Husker Dan. Good evening, Husker Dan.
Hi, Greg and Jessica. How are you tonight?
Good, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, we're getting a good rain.
Love it. Much needed.
Yeah, we needed it. Hey, I want to ask about the prayer at midfield. Do the opposing teams, and I'm sure they do, they got to tell them that we're going to go to the midfield and have a prayer. And, gosh, I guess from here on out, I guess if that don't work, maybe we need to do it in the end zone.
Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes it's not an issue at all. Sometimes, it's only been, that was only the second time that's been an issue. So yeah. I don't know if it was just something that went on there, but it's something that they do every week. They do that. It's what they do as a team. I believe that Coach Rhule did that with his team at Baylor, so it's not like it's anything new. I don't know why it was an issue this week. But.
And whether we communicate that to the home team, I don't know, Dan, if we do or not. I'll ask somebody if we do that.
Yeah. And my second question was, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Heinrich Harburg, goodness sakes, I hope Dana realizes that this kid's an athlete. And I understand that he's the second-string quarterback, that he needs to go in if Dylan goes down. But, gosh, there's plenty of times where we could use him as a decoy and I just think, that kid's an athlete, and he's on the sidelines. It's like, we need we're kind of lacking a big-time player as far as making a big play. And that kid, he shouldn't be standing on the sideline. I'm sorry. And that's what I got to say, and I'll listen to what you guys got to say. But have a good evening.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, you have to be cognizant, and this has been a conversation we've had this whole season. Yes, there's no doubt that Heinrich Haarberg has some very, very elite athletic ability, and some of the things that he can do does separate him, but also he's your backup quarterback, and he's the guy that if something were to happen, you'd want to be able to turn to. So, you balance wanting to keep him healthy, but also utilizing him. So that's a fine line that you walk when he's your backup. There were a lot of times that he looked like they were going to use him given the right situation. I do think that Dana Holgorsen will utilize him when the situation is right, like we saw with that first down. And Coach Rhule actually pointed to that play in the TV show as well. Maybe missed one block or Heinrich might have scored. Right. I mean, it was a well-designed play, and had he got, and I could see Heinrich was a little bit, and I had a report on this too. I could tell guys were getting after each other a little bit more on the sideline, holding each other accountable. And Heinrich caught on whoever it was that missed the block. He let him know about it because he saw it, and had he got one more block, he knew it would have been a much bigger play than even just the first down in the 10, 11 yards. So I think he will continue to be used, but I also think too they also know that Dylan is, as we've seen the last couple of games, one play away from Heinrich being the guy.
Right.
So you balance that of how do you use him, but then also you want to be able to call on him in some situations that maybe you don't. And I know that they believe in Danny Kaelin and absolutely think he can be a guy that they can call on, but Heinrich's your backup. And so he's the guy that has taken the reps. He's the guy that has the experience. I would think that it's probably just, again, that conversation of keeping him healthy. It's a situation, if the situation calls on him to be the guy.
Doug in Norfolk on our text line. Compared to the start of the season, I think Raiola maybe has not seen the field as well as weeks 1, 2, and 3. And I think that's a fair comment. I think but again, he's also facing better defenses than he did against UTEP or Northern Iowa, or even Colorado was not ready to defend us yet. And he's a freshman. He's seen things for the first time. That's a fair comment, but there's probably a part of a reason that defenses and defensive coordinators are giving him some looks that he hasn't seen before.
Well, and that was another point that I keep going back to, because I just had that conversation with Searles, because I asked him about that. And he said, I asked him about the O-line and their performance, and he said the pass protection has to continue to get better because we've seen Dylan get hit a couple times, and maybe now that's in his mind. So, when you get rocked a few times, you start to question, is it going to be there? Maybe not trusting as much as he was, and it just, that takes a toll. And so you've got to continue to give him that time. And so maybe he's rushing a little bit more than we saw at the beginning of the season, just because now he's thinking about, am I going to have time to throw this football? So it's now maybe has crept into his mind a little bit more than maybe what we saw at the beginning of the season.
Agreed. Doug, appreciate the text from up in Norfolk. Let's go back to the phones. We'll go to Gretna and John. Good evening, John. You're on Sports Nightly.
Good evening, Greg. So there's a lot of power behind the fans and lots of emotion, and it's been hard to watch the comments. Like, these are kids, So if we could be a little more positive, I think that will go a long way.
John, appreciate it. I get it. I mean, the fans are frustrated. The team is frustrated. They haven't won since October the 5th with the Rutgers. I think that they do positive messaging within the locker room. I think the coaches pump up the team a little bit. And again, I think the team's mindset isn't bad right now for where they are. And I think that's gonna pay dividends here in one of these last 2 weeks.
I think so too. Look, it's just a tough day and age to be a student athlete.
It is.
And we hear Coach Cook talk about it. We saw the piece on Harper Murray. I mean, there's been almost every head coach has come in here and talked about that and how challenging of a time it is. I agree. I do not like the attacking of the student athletes. But then that being said, a lot of these guys are the first to stand up there and take responsibility for some of the things that they'll say, hey, I needed to do this. I need to be better. I talk to these guys after every single game. And, I mean, Isaac Gifford, after the UCLA game, was like, I have to be better. He said that. They are quick to own up to what they need to be better. But the attacking, yes, I agree. Like that, I don't like that either. I am absolutely with you there, the attacking, the negativity. But the holding accountable, that's a different story. And I think these athletes will be the first to say they look themselves in the mirror, you know, and they know when they need to be better. And they're the first to tell you. I think they have a good pulse on that, and they're not above saying, hey, I messed up and I got to be better for that. And they hold themselves accountable. And I think that's what I saw a lot more of on Saturday that I didn't see against UCLA was, you know, Coach Rhule's talked about this being a player-led team and holding each other accountable. And I think you saw that more against USC than I did against UCLA.
Positive sign, I think. All right, 402-413-2400. Keep the calls, texts coming. We'll also try to mix in some sound from Coach's press conference from earlier today as Sports Nightly rolls along.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Find your next luxury vehicle when you shop with Woodhouse Cadillac. Browse our selection of the newest Cadillac models, equipped with luxurious designs and technology that transforms your driving experience. Lease the sleek 2024 Cadillac XT5 Premium Luxury for $599 a month for 39 months and 10,000 miles per year. Take advantage of our current offers going on now. Shop in store or online at WoodhouseCadillac.com. With a free credit, must have current Cadillac financial lease to qualify. First payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 11/30/2024. See dealer for details.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us. Sid Dillon.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Exarban Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun!
That's Blake and Bailey. They're our Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus no payments for up to 90 days and $1,000 bonus cash on a new F-150.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Shop Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during our Black Friday sales event. Lease the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $359 per month. Visit us in Blair or Bellevue or online anytime. Your trusted Jeep dealer since 1991. This is Woodhouse. 27 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax time license extra. For well-qualified returning lease customers, $1,999 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number BC20893. Offer expires 12/2/2024. See dealer for details.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. Let's get back to the phones. Let's go up to Papillion and Ryan. Good evening, Ryan. You are on Sports Nightly.
Awesome. Hey, my point is here just that we've got athletes that are on the bench, like Harburg. If they're really up there and they're our best players, we got to get them on the field. I understand if they're going to get hurt, that we don't want that to happen. But if we just leave them on the bench, what good do they do down there? You know. So if we got to risk it a little bit, hey, you got to go for it. If we don't do that, what happens if we don't get the bowl eligibility again? So that's kind of my point. It's at this point we kind of got to get after it and send people on the field. If we got guys that can play offensively and defensively, you do that. Or if you got guys that can run and they can be a quarterback backup, well, you got to run them when you need them.
Do you think we're not doing that now?
Well, if Harburg is really at that level, you know, and he needs to be on the field more, we can't just be saying, hey, you're going to sit on the sideline because we got to have you just in case somebody gets hurt. Well, if Rhule never gets hurt, then Harburg's been wasted. So, you know, in that case, get him on the field, and if there's better athletes that are sitting behind, then maybe we need to do that. I don't know if there are answers for that, but, you know, I just don't want you to sit there and then miss opportunities that you could have if you had better players on the field. So it's not always the X's and O's, it's the Jacks and the Joes, they say in the coaching realm. So you got the guys on the field, that's what matters.
All right, Ryan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, I think there were a couple of times that it looked like Heinrich was about to be utilized, and then just the situation changed. We pointed it out. They're quick to say they're two different quarterbacks. Dylan can throw it in a way that maybe Heinrich can't. Heinrich can run it in a way that Dylan can't. And I think you're not going to just completely change and just do something that you're not prepared for. But I think they've utilized Heinrich quite a bit.
I would like to rewind some shows from 12 months ago and play some of those comments back about how much Heinrich grief he took for his quarterbacking play 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, we got to play him. 12 months ago, it was like, we got to get a new quarterback. We're not any good. It's just funny how it flips.
And they're going to continue to use him. It's just, look, Coach Rhule said it. We've got a lot of actual guys that we would like to get involved a little bit more. We're just, hey, there's only so many snaps to go around. And when Emmett Johnson's running the ball and doing the things that he's doing, you got to get him the ball. And Thomas Fidone and Ja'Cory Barney and Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks had a good game. I mean, you're just limited on your touches at that point.
Right.
And so he's just, to me, at this point, he's a specialty kind of play call.
Yeah.
And you utilize him when you see it fit, but it's not a guy that you put in every single game. I guess I maybe misphrased it wrong. It's less about keeping him hurt and more about it's got to be the right situation, too.
You just rattle off the names of Nair and Banks and Jalen Lloyd and Ja'Cory Barney. I don't think we have better guys that aren't playing than them. I don't think that's the case. There might be a hidden gem that's redshirting this year that is going to really blossom and go, but I think those are our best players.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
I don't think it's good either, to rotate quarterbacks a bunch either. I don't know. I mean, a lot of times that does not bode well for our team.
Yeah.
So you use them when you can. We've seen the wrinkles that you use them. I think they've utilized them quite well, and I think they'll continue to use him in the certain situations. But he's not going to be the quarterback. It's Dylan Raiola's team at this point.
And I thought, for the most part, Dylan played better. So 27 of 38, threw 2 picks. The one at the end of the game, I kind of almost don't count. It was like, you got to throw it to the end zone and hope something good happens. And probably should have been a pass interference on USC, and we should have had one more snap, but it is what it is. All right, Matt Rhule met with the media earlier today, and one of the questions he got was, what did you think of the run game on Saturday?
I thought it was the offensive line's best game of the year. I thought they blocked really, really, really well. I thought we had some nice runs. I also thought we left a ton of yards out there. We had a couple times we got the ball to the safety and got tackled. A couple times we kind of missed the hole, so I thought the guys played hard. But I thought we left a lot out there, and we could have run the ball for a lot more yards than what we got. The 20-yard gain could have been 80. Just a block here. So there's definitely was some improvement, but there needs to be more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the frustration, right? And we've heard that a lot. I did think it was better, but there are still some instances where you would like to see even bigger chunks. But I thought it was better, but it's still, look, there's still room to improve.
Dante averaged 6.5 yards a carry. Emmett averaged 5.5. You'll take those numbers. Those are good. From the run game. All right, how about the defense? What did the coach think of the defensive play against the Trojans on Saturday?
They were all three touchdowns. The first play where, it's cover 3 and guy scrams around, the guy gets behind Tommy. The touchdown over top of Malcolm's head, it's cover 2 with a safety that chases a route. That's a veteran secondary that didn't play very well in those key moments. And I think they'd be the first to tell you that they're really upset with themselves. The deep touchdown, to number 2, that should never be a touchdown. I mean, those are all simple day 1 routes. So we had every opportunity, So again, and I always say, because I'm always very careful what to call out and what not to. But my point to our guys is this: I think after the game, when you guys asked me, do you feel snake bit? No, I expect our cover 2 safety to play cover 2, and I expect our cover 3 corner to stay deep. And if we had done that in that game, those plays would have been eliminated. I mean, that young man was running away from MJ. We expect us to sack him on the first long play down the right side. I'm not so sure he wasn't even just trying to throw the ball away, and he just kind of got caught. So we're not snake bit. We're not unlucky. There's no curse. You got to play the defense called. If it's cover 3, play cover 3. You don't guess and play cover 4. So that's there weren't a lot of times. There weren't a lot of times where it was like, hey, we're playing man, we just can't cover this guy. It wasn't that. It was those things. So those near misses are all, to me, they're all of our own doing. That now I want to flip that. Their run game I thought was elite. Going into the game, I said it was elite. Number 4 was elite. We that I would say we have to be better at. But those big plays never should have happened. And we were giving up about 13 points a game down this stretch last year, and we're giving up a touchdown or 2 more now because of some of those type plays, and we can't give them up.
I promise I did not even listen to the press conference today, but that was my point earlier, and that's what I saw on the sideline was you could tell that there's some frustration in these veteran defensive backs making these kinds of mistakes and not making some of the plays that you would think that they should be making now. And so the miscommunication on the big touchdown, those are just things you don't expect these guys that you've seen play so much football to make these kinds of mistakes, and then you expect them to go up there and make some of these different plays. And like he said, they'll be the first to tell you. I mean, I've had conversations with all these guys, and I mean, I just mentioned Isaac Gifford. He'll be the first to say, hey, that was on me. They have to play better. I mean, they do. And because I think the D-line, as good as the run game was, the D-line did some solid things. And you give up those 3-4 big plays, that's the difference in the football game.
Sure is. Folks, there is a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools and $1 million prize at stake. And Nebraska is the leader right now. If you bleed Husker red, donate blood and submit for Nebraska at big10.org/Abbott before December the 7th. We'll have more of the press conference and clips from the coach coming up next.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Sam, since this is your first Get Holiday Ready sales event, let me introduce you to the full lineup of Ford SUVs. Keep it festive, Morgan.
How fun!
That's Blake and Bailey. They're our Bronco experts.
Goat modes goes over any type of terrain.
And of course, Ford F-Series. Best-selling trucks for 47 years. The Get Holiday Ready sales event.
Chills.
Get 1.9% APR for 60 months, plus no payments for up to 90 days and $1,000 bonus cash on a new F-150.
If there's one thing Nebraska is known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens.
I'm Jason Pinky, a farmer near Craig, Nebraska. Soybeans are vital for feeding our livestock, and they're also a powerhouse protein source for people worldwide. Our world needs protein, and Nebraska soybeans are making a difference.
From tailgate grills to global plates, farmers deliver affordable, nutritious protein to build muscle and energy for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir. Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lex Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Folks, here's what's on tap, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Husker women's basketball tomorrow night, home to North Alabama. Tip at 7. Pregame coverage begins at 6:30. Husker volleyball headed to Iowa City on Wednesday night to play the Hawkeyes. First serve will be at 6. Our pregame coverage begins at 5. And Husker football headed your way. Our Husker men's basketball's next game is Friday night in Omaha against Creighton. 6 o'clock pregame, 7 o'clock for tip. And then football against Wisconsin on Saturday. We'll have pregame at 10:30, kick at 2:30 against the Badgers. That's a perfect lead-in to my next clip from Coach Rhule from earlier today. You've got two teams in Wisconsin and Nebraska that really mirror each other. Same record, 5-5, one win away from bowl eligibility. Now operating with different OCs as Phil Longo was relieved of his duties yesterday for the Badgers. So they're going to have just the rest of the offensive staff take turns calling plays for this week. Here's the coach talking about two teams, similar spots.
Just the fact that we're in the same position, as we were last year, both 5-5, trying to win one more game. They beat us last year in overtime. They won another game, got a chance to go to a bowl game. I know it's a lot of years for them going to a bowl game in a row. I 100% believe in the impact that has on your program and your development over time. We're right back in the same spot. With a chance for us to, hopefully us win the game and then extend the season and watch the development for our young players. But, other than that, Coach took over that job. He's trying to get them to break through. We are where we are right now. We're trying to get ourselves to break through. It's not happened yet for us. It can be frustrating, but also energizing in that, I do feel like we're at the point where we could. we're getting closer to getting to that point. So, instead of taking a big picture look, I just try to narrow my focus down and just keep chopping and hitting at the same spot.
It is crazy the similarities on paper, but I agree with you, Greg. I do think mentally there is a big difference. I do think probably Nebraska's in a better spot than what we seem to be hearing and gathering from the Wisconsin camp. But, going back to just the importance of getting that bowl game, and I know there's a lot of pressure on it, and these guys want so badly to play in one. It is huge for the future of the program. Rhule and I did a deep dive on that last week on the podcast, just about, I had a coach once tell me that the bowl game prep is more important for a young player's development than even in the spring, because just that time that you get is just critical. And so when you continue to build a program, you've got to be able to have that time. There's so many reasons why that's important, but I think at the top of the list for this team in particular is getting those seniors that opportunity. And I think they're pretty fired up. Go back to the Vincent Shavers afterwards. This young group, this senior class means a lot to them too, and they want to send them out with a win.
Senior day is Saturday. Coach said 29 or 30 guys will walk Saturday. He also said that today, Marquise Buford, Jamari Butler both came to him and said, Coach, we want to come back. They both can get that 6th year. How about those two coming back? Those are two good players in Marquise and Jamari.
Yes, and I think we've seen some flashes from Jamari, but he also had the injury. So I think he's a guy that could be a huge piece moving forward for that D-line, because you lose Ty and Nash, and then I know they have some young talent. They're really deep, but having another older guy, he's been one of the leaders, one of the really good leaders for this football team. To have him back would be really good just in a leadership front. Marquise Buford, same thing. And I think Marquise has been asked to do a lot of things this year. He's rotated from safety to corner. He's played all over the place. And, he's coming off that injury. So I think, it took him probably almost, probably into the beginning of the season. I think he's still got some good football left in him. Just having two veteran guys like that, when you have such young talent coming in, I think can help with that transition.
DJ and Kearney in our text line said, Greg, I want your listeners to know how classy Jessica is. After the first USC touchdown of the second half, the Spirit crew were throwing out T-shirts. They missed the crowd. You picked one up, walked it, and gave it to a fan over there. Very classy move.
I was like, I didn't know what he was talking about. Well, she looked disappointed, and I just was like, well, I saw it happen. I'll just hand it back to you.
How cool. Nice.
That happens quite a bit.
Does it?
Yeah. There was one time at Iowa, a fan lost their sunglasses. They got clipped and hooked to a hood of a photographer, and I ran the 40-yard sprint down, and because he asked me to go get it, and so it happens. It happens. Nice. You drop things. I'll grab it. I don't mind.
Sweet. Good deal. I need to work our final break, and we're back with our weekend winners next.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid mineral with protein or Sweet Pro block supplements for space feeding, while also stretching your forages up to 25% better, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blauhorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Find your next vehicle at Woodhouse Chevy. Explore the newest lineup of Chevy vehicles, including spacious SUVs, versatile trucks, and reliable sedans. Woodhouse Chevy. Together, let's drive. Lease a 2025 Chevy Equinox for $349 a month for 36 months and 10,000 miles per year at Woodhouse Chevy in Omaha. With approved credit, $1,000 down payment on new GM card plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must have current Chevy lease to qualify. Must apply and be approved for new GM credit card and spend a minimum of $1,000 at time of purchase. Offer expires 12/2/2024. See dealer for details.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Couple minutes left in our Monday night show. Tomorrow night, we'll be here for just a tiny bit. We'll be about a half-hour show leading you into Husker women's basketball as they take on North Alabama. Let's do some weekend winners. Camden, we are going to start with you.
All right, I think I got a good one.
We'll be the judge of that.
Former Nebraska basketball player Delano Banton had a good game the other day. Had 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists for the Trailblazers. Nice. He's kind of found his little niche up there in Portland. It's kind of just off the radar because they're not very good as a team, but he's quietly having a good start to his season.
That's awesome.
Good for him.
Yeah. I got a chance to chat with him right when he got drafted. He's a great guy. He was. I wish I could have covered him here, but I'm happy for him. And he's one of those guys. I know he's a little green when he went. Maybe could have benefited for one more year, but the fact he continues to grow and stay on a team, that's big for him.
Coach Hoiberg predicted it.
Yeah.
He said he's going to have a nice career.
Well, he just has such a good skill set that is, really translates to that level. And so he continues to grow and get better. And, hey, good for him.
All right, what do you have?
I'm going to stick with hoops. Women's basketball. Wow, what a performance. So many records, 23-pointers. This is the best feeling as a basketball player when you just, nothing misses and everything is going in. And it sounded like it was contagious. Everybody was hitting, but specifically Britt Prince, a career-high 23 points. We're going to see, that's a first of many for her, but to see her really get going, the Kendalls, Kendall Moriarty and Kendall Coley, both with career highs and three-pointers and points. I mean, they just couldn't miss. So all around Nebraska women's basketball, what a performance. Awesome job by them. Again, they played tomorrow night against North Alabama. Then they've got Creighton on Friday. Early and late afternoon at the Sokol Arena. They won on campus for Creighton for that. I'm going Husker wrestling. A couple of dominant wins and duels on Friday where they started the duel with Campbell Jets on the baseball diamond. They were trying to do the whole duel outside, kind of out, and then there was precipitation coming up on the mats. They had to move indoors after three events, but Ridge had a couple of pins, then got on a bus, drove about 45 minutes to Chapel Hill, and they dominated North Carolina. They are off to a terrific start. Yeah, I think you can already tell. It could be poised for a really special year for Husker wrestling. And Mark Coach Bain has kind of been saying, every time the last 6 months I've seen him, he's got a big grin on his face. Like he knows, I got a good team. Yeah, well, and it was years in the making, if you think about it, with just the redshirting Ridge and just the moving around of pieces. It was like a chess match that's starting to pay off for him. So I can't wait. Going to be fun. They're headed to that big tournament in Vegas in a couple weeks. They'll be tested out there. That'll do it for tonight's show. Thanks to Camden for steering the ship for us. Again, a short show, half hour for us tomorrow night, right ahead of women's basketball, where we'll hand it off to Matt Coney and Jeff Grease as the women back in action tomorrow night against North Alabama. Have a great night. For those of you on the eastern half of the state, be careful. A little rain out there. We love it. It's coming down pretty hard right now in Lincoln. Have yourself a good night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu on